Hey everybody,
Hi, everybody.
it's Kelly and Bill from Wildrose Brewery in Griffith,
Beautiful
Indiana.
Griffin.
Beautiful Griffith,
Beautiful
or
Griffin.
as you say, beautimous.
Which is very damp right now because it's been raining, but that's a good thing.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
plants at home are very happy right now.
Oh yeah. It was getting us worried because the original rain that
I was waiting yesterday, yeah.
it kind of fell apart.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so things happen. But now, boy, it came down here.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I know you guys where you're at, but it really started raining here.
They mowed the lawn today, which means now it's going to grow again and
Well,
be all crazy.
you're out there watering it every 5 minutes.
Well, that's true too because I'm trying to grow some new grass.
Yeah. All right. Well, boy, what a week so far.
Yes.
Yeah,
exciting.
we kind of exciting show today. We had Sheriff Dave Reynolds and Dr. Julie Locke,
Lovely,
who's
beautiful
the
Julie Locke, yes.
superintendent of Valparaiso Community Schools. I can't say she's beautiful because
Well, I know, but
she used
I
to be
can.
my boss.
I know, but I can, and she is.
Yeah, but very, very. I tell you what, some of the
They're both extremely passionate about
They-
school safety and their
exactly,
community.
and that's what the topic was today:
Yes.
school safety. So, urge you to go and view that again. Dave definitely made his opinion known as a sheriff, what he feels needs to be done, and he's already developed quite a few initiatives
Oh my gosh.
through the school safety committee that has
Yes.
been formed in Porter County
Let's
through an
just say
ordinance.
Porter County is very lucky
Yeah.
to have an amazing man like him.
Yeah, amazingly, and he's really made sure that all the schools that are under his jurisdiction in Porter County at least know that there are resources available to them. They talked about the One County, One Protocol, which is basically a mechanism to make sure that all the schools are on the same page, and
Exactly.
so that as law enforcement officials drive up, and God forbid that there is an instance of a school shooting or something, school violence happening, everyone knows what they're doing. And Julie talked very eloquently about how they go through exercises to make sure that in the classroom, those kids know what to do when something
well, for
happens.
anything. She
A
was saying,
lockdown.
just regular lockdowns, school shooting, but even, fire drills, tornadoes, everything. Like they work very diligently to make sure that their students are safe and prepared as much as you can be for something like that.
That video is up there. I did put some statistics at the beginning of the show for a year. I mean, we're talking about national statistics, but still,
Not
gosh, I
even
believe
a year
it's
because it's only
41
September.
Yeah, 41 deaths and 81 injuries.
In school shootings and school incidences just this year.
It's way too much and scary. We
One is too much.
Yeah,
But
and-
41 in 9 months is ridiculous.
and we talked about the callousness now. As I did the research and pulled out some data, there's some school shootings that never made it to the air, never made it to the
national
airwaves.
news. I'm sure it
Nav-
did locally, but not nationally.
Yeah, it may have locally, but still, to me, any school shooting
Oh, yeah,
is something
absolutely.
that we all should be
Should be
concerned about. So that was kind of shocking. I was going through 4 or 5 just recently, and on September 11th, the anniversary of 9/11, there was
A
fatality, and it didn't make
Is it
the
in
news.
Las Vegas or somewhere
Las
out
Vegas.
that way? Yeah,
Las
student
Vegas,
lost
so-
his life and it didn't make the
Right.
news.
But at any rate, we'll go on from there. But yeah, go and look at that video.
Yes,
It is
very,
very
very
interesting.
good.
And there were some questions that we asked. Basically, what is the state doing to help the local school districts and the local law enforcement officials? And they both spoke to that very eloquently. And they gave their opinion about the state providing these metal
Hand
detector wands. And during the last show where I had Dave on, I kind of expressed my opinion about that because logic did not. It just
Dictate that is
is
a good
not.
idea.
It's not a good idea. I mean, basically, what you want in all purposes, someone that's going to be at the front end that is trained to interact with criminals, trained to interact with people who are violent, and that is a law enforcement official. We have resource officers.
And ultimately, like they said, you want to get to a point where that doesn't even happen.
Right, and we talked about that.
Yes.
Because the underlying thing that we're going through is our society. We are coming up upon a disconnect that is causing a great amount of social strain on adolescents. Unbelievable amount of strain. And one thing I'll say as a parent, now a grandparent, is kids need that structure. You know, if they don't get it, they're painful. They go through spurts of anxiety. So they do need that structure from us. They do need us to put down the phone or whatever it is that's distracting us and provide that structure to them. The teachers can only do their best when they have these kids in their class, but it's something when they're home, we have to do that, and we have to stand up as a community and do our part to do that. Whether
You
it's
said it, a teacher's job is to teach, but a parent's job is to parent. The teacher should not be parenting the child.
exactly, and I cannot tell you, and I, not just because I work for a school district, honestly, I really do believe the teacher is the most underpaid profession in the United States.
Absolutely.
They have to deal with things that we can only imagine on ourselves. And now this has been thrust upon their shoulders. You know, now that they have to, if there, God forbid, a school violence occurs, whether it be a shooter or just someone going ballistic in the school, they have anywhere from 18 to 32 bodies that have been entrusted to them. That is huge. That is very huge. And I know a lot of you do this, but anytime you have a teacher-parent conference, tell them how much you appreciate them. It really is. They do appreciate knowing that the parents understand what they have to go through.
And have their back.
In this environment, it's scary. Look at the video. We've got some things that we want to discuss. We don't have a guest on the show, but we've got some things that we thought we would talk about.
Some fun things to talk about.
Yeah, some fun things. Look at the video. Julie and Dave did an excellent job talking through this and talking about what happens from the school side, from the law enforcement side, and what makes sense, what is logical.
And even though this is all Porter County, it resonates throughout the entire region.
It does. And what they talked about resonates throughout the state and throughout the nation. It's what we should all be doing, is being on the same page. Parents, school administrators, teachers, law enforcement officials. It's a scary world out there, so let's just all work together and make it less scary. So.
And then also on the page, if you get a chance, we did have some technical issues at the radio station today.
Yeah.
So Spotlight on the Arts got cut off a little bit, but we had the first little bit more than a half an hour. We had the amazing Georgia Fox Hatfield, who runs Fox Galleries in Lake Station. They have an event coming up this Saturday, as well as this amazing art gallery that is open to anyone, with other events that come up throughout the year, and they have an open mic every Friday. They've got all kinds of fun things. So please take a chance to, look at that, learn some more about that amazing facility and her passion to educate and share this great thing called art with everyone, not just photos and drawings, but all kinds of art, music, dance, everything. Then we also had some of the cast members and the director from The Man Who Came to Dinner, which is opening this weekend at Genesius Guild, which is at the First United Methodist Church in Hammond, right there off of Holman. So if you watch, you can hear about the play, you can listen to the director talk about everything that's coming up. The phone number, the address, everything is there, so you can reserve your tickets to see this amazing, amazing play.
They do have quite a cast.
They have an amazing cast. A lot of my friends are in it, so I'm super excited. We're going to go on Saturday, I believe, to see if it's not already sold out. We're really looking forward to it. So make sure you watch that and see. You can see it in its entirety, because it was, like I said, cut off.
Some good faces out there, but we are going to upload the video in its entirety and so that you all will be able to see it. We just had a network difficulty, and so we'll get beyond it. Looks like we're having some here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good. Oh boy, it's that.
It's that kind of a day.
Yeah, it's that kind of day. So coming up tomorrow, and again, we'll upload that video because we went out there and interviewed all, well, not all, but
No,
we
four
have
of
four
the
of the
20-something cast members
and the
that-
director.
Right.
And so that's kind of good. You want to
Exactly.
tune into that.
Wonderful.
So tomorrow we have this week I'm having a lot of people on the show that I used to work with. Yeah, at Valpo Schools. Tom Wish is going to be joining us tomorrow. Tom has his own insurance agency in Hobart, but that's, it's part of the reason he wants to go on and talk about his change from an educator to an insurance agent. But more importantly, he's an amazing person as far as being involved in the community. He lives in the Miller area. He's very active in it, whether it be soup kitchens, whether it be homeless shelters. He's very active in the community, and so I wanted to give him an opportunity to kind of share with you, and which opens up something I think that we want to do on the show here that Kelly and I talked about, is we want to highlight some really good things happening in the area. Some people that are very passionate about the community, and we want to bring them on and let them tell their story and let them know what they're doing. Habitat for Humanity is also going to be on. But getting back to Tom, so he's going to be on tomorrow, sharing what he does as a insurance agent, educator turned insurance agent. But he's been very successful, but he also has been very active in the community. Right. And helping out wherever he can.
And it's nice when somebody who's successful takes that success and instead of holding on to it, shares it with everybody else and makes the world a better place.
Yeah, Tom's a great guy. I can't kind of excited for him to be on the show to share, how nice of a guy he is with the rest of you. So please tune in tomorrow or go back and look at the video. So that will be tomorrow. Coming up next week, kind of an interesting guest we have coming up next week. Actually, kind of two ships crossing in the night, so to speak. Mark Roscoe, who's a prominent attorney in the Valparaiso, well, actually Portage, his office is in Portage. But actually, it's kind of interesting. He is a prominent attorney, but that isn't really what he's most well known for.
And most passionate about.
He is a
fashion
designer. Amazing.
For some really well-known famous people.
A lot of the stars, Emmys. He does a lot of work for the stars. So it's kind of interesting because I guess to me, I never associate those two, an attorney, fashion designer. But he's also
creative people are everywhere.
Oh yeah, they're creative. It's just lawyer, doctor. I know a lawyer, doctor that has, but lawyer, fashion. Mark's a very nice guy. I've never met him personally, but we're connected through a very good friend, and actually a couple of friends.
Yes.
Because he does work for Sandy Goldberg.
Yes, he's designed for her.
Right, and her big event coming up, the Golden Lining.
The Silver Lining.
The Silver
Lining Foundation.
The Silver Lining Foundation. And they're going to have their gala coming up at the end of this month.
Yes,
and
their gala's
so,
on the 29th.
Yeah, and wish we could go.
Maybe. We'll see.
You never know. Yeah, maybe if we could get Mark to design us some stuff to wear.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that. But the thing about it is that it's kind of interesting. He's just coming back from his trip from Greece.
Yes.
And guess where this lady is going?
I'm leaving on the 18th of October to go to Greece, so I'm excited to talk to him
and
a
guess
little
where
bit
Bill's
about
going?
Right here in Highland and Griffith. But I'll be in Greece and Italy and Malta, and I'm going to talk to him about it too.
Yeah. And this will not inhibit her from posting pictures on her trip from.
No, and I'm also actually going to do some video from there. I'll download it to Bill, and then he can share it on the air with all of you, so you can see some of the beautiful things that I'm seeing on my. It's actually for work. I know it's a tough job. I am a travel agent, and this is a seminar at sea. It's a cruise, and be talking about all the different things I get to see, and I'm excited
It's
about it.
beautiful.
So, it is beautiful. So.
It's totes adorable.
It is totes adorable. I'm excited about it because
But
I'm
I'm
going with
staying
my
here
boss, who's also
so
my
I can
friend.
share this with you.
And the other really cool thing is a person that I went to high school with and her husband, they live in Arizona now, but she and her husband
Cheers.
are actually going to be on the cruise as regular clients, so I'll get to see them as well. And then our BDM and person she's going with will get to see as well. So
All these people
I'm
are going.
excited. It's okay. He's going on a cruise with me next year to Alaska. So, it's not like the poor guy's just
Alaska.
nothing. Alaska. It's
I
awesome.
know. I'm not. No.
Hello.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's the only state I haven't
Actually
been to, and
looking
I'm
forward
super
to that.
excited about going.
Same here. I'm very excited about it. But that will be a way for me just to keep a stiff chin and a smile on my face as I share all those pictures of Greece with our listeners. I'll keep a smiley, happy face as
That's
I do
right.
that. So,
He's just
look
gonna
how
be
much
sad because
fun!
he misses me. That's all.
Yeah. Look how much fun Kelly's having.
That's right.
Yeah. Look how warm it is over there.
That's right.
Look at the aisle.
Sunny, beautiful blue Mediterranean Sea, Malta, Greece, Italy.
I know, I'll keep plenty
it's
of
a
this
tough
handy
job.
to try to keep us.
Hey, I pay for it. It's not like it's free or something. So.
I know, but the thing about it is she gets to come back and gains the experience to share with her customers.
Exactly.
So that's
I
a
get
good
to see,
thing.
what they
So
offer
it's
their
all-
clients
it's a
and
tough job.
learn about the ship and the company and everything like that.
It's
but
a
then I'll
tough
come back
job.
and I'll get to share all these beautiful photos and everything with you, and we'll talk about all the fun places I've been this past year, 2 years. The really exciting places.
A lot of places.
And lots more trips coming up too. I'm really excited.
I went to New Buffalo.
We went to New Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
We went
another
to
exciting,
Chicago.
fabulous place.
Yeah.
We went to Chicago. We've gone.
Not Greece.
Yeah, we go places.
I'm just kidding. Okay. What do you want to get on to doing our movie reviews?
Well, that's something we're going to start. We're going to start doing movie reviews every once in a while. So we're going to do it a little differently. I know Dean Richards on WGN does the A, B, C, D kind of a thing. We had Siskel and Ebert with the thumbs up kind of thing. Well, we're going to do 5 fingers. So 5 is the best, 4, 3, 2, and then you can imagine which finger we use for the number 1. And that's the worst movie possible is the 1 finger. You can guess which one. But 5 fingers would be the top, 4, 3,
And it's not just going to be limited to movies, although we will do those. But we got some shows
Well,
we'd
we have
like to
TV
share
shows
with
we're
you.
going to talk about,
Yeah.
things that are coming up.
Yeah. Yep. So 2 of the ones that we did, 2 movies that we actually went to
Recently
theater to
saw
see.
that are still out.
Yep, that we see is The Nun.
We saw The Nun,
Yeah.
yes,
Which-
because I love scary movies.
Yeah, which probably the reason why I didn't find it so scary is my upbringing with nuns.
This nun wasn't near as scary as the real ones, right?
They had nothing on Sister Rosarita. Nothing. You name it, decapitation, dismemberment, nothing. That happened in 8th grade class. I swear, she almost took Calvin Dixon's head clean off his shoulders.
Scary.
Oh, she was. Oh, she was. I tell many people this and they don't believe me. Dit Butkus had nothing on Sister Rosarita. Nothing. She could have easily filled in for him and been more destructive. So the movie Nun really didn't scare a whole lot of me. Is it really? So, but let's move on to it. Let's,
my perspective on this, and I am a horror film crazy fanatic. I was very impressed with Tessa Farmiga's portrayal of Sister Irene. She was very, very good. And there were some really scary moments. There really were. I mean, it was, in so many ways, it was wonderful. And there were 2 great new actors that I am not really familiar with. They've mostly done, I think, European film. And that would be Jonas Bloquet, who played Frenchie, and then Demian Bichir, who played Father Burke. Now, my issue with this was the gentleman who played Frenchie. The way it was written is Frenchie had these kind of funny lines he would throw out at the scariest moments that really just kind of blew the whole suspense for me. And, you know, The Nun is the one film in this series of movies that is not based on a true story. I am a huge fan of The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. I liked Annabelle. Annabelle 2 was okay.
Which
and
we
those
watched.
were all exactly. Well, we watched The Conjuring last night. And you know, they're all based on true stories of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, the kind of cool thing is that Tessa Farmiga, who played Sister Irene in this movie, is the actual little sister of Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren in all the Conjuring and Annabelle movies. And then, of course, Patrick Wilson plays Ed Warren. Now, those two, The Conjuring and Annabelle, are based on true stories that actually happened.
Right.
The Nun is pure fiction, and whoever wrote it ruined it for me as far as, like I said, there are very good scary movies and very, very good scary moments in this movie, but the weird humor put in the weirdest places just kind of made it not scary for me.
Well, for me, and again, having the most brutal nuns on the face of the earth that educated me as a child, none of these nuns had anything on them. So I'll start off with that. But first of all, you know, one of the things, I guess, the premises on horror films, which I've gotten desensitized, you know, I guess it's the cinematics and, you know, the violence, you know, it just doesn't do a lot for me as far as scare value. And you're going to tune into a horror movie, you want to be scared.
But you did enjoy The Conjuring, because that was your first time actually really seeing it.
And see, that, I've got to admit, I never really saw The Conjuring till Kelly said last night, you got to see The Conjuring. And I did, and actually, that's what I'd like to draw a parallel between The Conjuring and The Nun, because they're two distinct, different styles of the script and also how they invoke fear. And I kind of remember, I think it was Stephen King that always said that there are.
Take that off now. We're
You
done
take
looking
that
at
off?
the graphic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but
I mean,
really,
it's kind of creepy, but I'm even scarier.
you want to see this or
Yeah,
that?
we're kind of scared too.
So, for me though, and I think it was Stephen King that said this, that really isn't it that what invokes more fear is the ghost that hides underneath the bed than the one that comes through the door.
Yes.
The one that you don't see. It builds up the suspense, and it invokes some imagination, use of imagination. And that's where the Nun did not leave anything to the imagination. It was all out there. It was all either violence, nuns throwing people. I went
I mean, it
through
was
that
still
eighth
good.
grade.
It was
Really
still good. I still
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Don't think that I didn't. But.
Yeah, I still remember a nun throwing a kid across the room, so it meant nothing to me.
Right. But I mean,
Same
I
about
like
it.
you. Like, I like psychological thrillers
Exactly.
and scary movies where, like, you don't know what's coming in, and then the suspense is all there, and you can only imagine. And sometimes your imagination is way scarier than what you actually see on the screen.
Right. To me, the haunting and that where you never really see, but it leaves a lot to the imagination, and that's where The Conjuring did a good job of that, because all through the movie, you really only a couple of times,
and it's
a couple
just
of
very
times, and it
quickly,
was.
and it's because it's important to the storyline.
Exactly. I think that they felt that they had to show something to cut into the storyline. So The Nun for me, cinematics. I think I
I'd give
agree.
it a 3. I'm a 3-finger girl for that.
I agree with Kelly in that what really destroyed it is the misuse of the comedy.
Comedic little phrases right in the middle of the scariest, most tense parts, and then it was like, why would you say that now?
Overuse of cinematics, not enough suspense, and it just didn't hit home for me at all.
But Tessa Farmiga, who I've loved for a long time, back when she started with the American Horror Story.
But the
I love her.
But the shame about that is that there was some really good acting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
very well
one
done.
that played the, what do you want to call it, the nun, the Bree nun, because she did say her vows.
Right,
did her
Tesa.
vows.
Tesa Omega, who played Sister Irene,
Yeah,
was
she
amazing.
was amazing.
Right.
I got to say, outside that, I think she was the spotlight. So I would also have to give it, gosh, I'm not sure I could go 3. I would go with 2.
2? Okay.
It's very
I'm a
close
3.
to a 1.
I'm a 3.
Very close to 1. The Conjuring, although, I would give a solid 4. 4
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4.5.
4, 4.5.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if you haven't seen that, it's 2013, I believe it is, or so.
Somewhere
But
around there.
the actual scene of the movie takes place in 1970, I believe, around there in
Yeah,
the 70s,
around that time.
and which is supposed to be a true story.
It's based
So-
on actual things that happened.
But the nun was kind of
Right.
inspired by The Conjuring.
No.
No, but
No,
they show
Ed
a
Lorraine-
scene from
well,
The Conjuring.
And that's the other thing that's kind of frustrating because Ed and Lorraine Warren are real people, and The Conjuring is based on actual things that happened with them and this family. And then Annabelle is actually based on something that happened with a doll. Now, not at all like the creepy doll Annabelle is. It was a Raggedy Ann doll, which I'm sure the company that makes those weren't very happy about using that, which is why they used this. But those were all based on real events that happened. The Nun is purely fiction, and so for
Right.
them to kind of throw this little bit at the end like it actually happened was very frustrating to me because this is purely fiction.
So for me, if you went to parochial school like me, you're like me, and missed seeing kids getting thrown across the room by a nun, by all means go. It'll bring up a lot of memories. But I can't say there's a lot of takeaways.
Yeah.
Unless you miss that, seeing your buddy throw.
The schools are much better now. Don't believe a word he says.
Yeah. I just have to.
And
So
the other movie that we saw?
the other movie we saw. So can I go back to the graphics
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
Oh, and now they're gonna. Oh no.
Now it's going to act up again? Nope, that's
listen.
the Nun. It doesn't look.
This
There
happens.
we go.
The Meg.
Meg.
Okay.
The
Now
Meg.
this stars Jason Statham, right?
Statham.
Which historically he has always played the action figure in action
Right.
movies. Ocean's 11, all the Ocean's movies he was in. Then
don't
the
know.
Transporter.
Yeah.
He makes use of his martial arts.
Well,
you know.
he's
Yeah.
muscular and built and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
But he's
and-
extremely good in this.
Yeah.
Bing Ming Lee is also in this, as well as Rainn Wilson.
Right, and what I actually with this, it was not a bust 'em up movie where Jason goes around like the
No.
nuns throwing people around. So this really, he played an oceanographer that was experienced at rescuing people from underwater. So I thought his acting skills, he really had to bring out his acting skills in this, number one. And also the movie line for this, with the exception of Oceans, because I love the Oceans movies.
Right.
But this one, I think, really brought out more of his acting, and also the more of a storyline, because the scientific basis on this is actually pretty good. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it has to do with obviously a shark. If you haven't gotten it already,
Right,
you
but
haven't guessed
it's a
that this is about it.
prehistoric shark
Right.
that they actually find that is still
Right.
alive and
Yep.
is able to breach this kind of underworld where it's been.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it
No,
too
we
much,
don't
but
want to ruin it, but no,
but
at the
it's
same time.
but the thing, there is very good scientific substance to this movie, and
it's very scary. It really
Yeah,
is. I mean,
it
I was
is.
expecting that kind of cheesy Godzilla, Japanese science fiction,
And this-
cheesy, fakey looking.
Right.
It was really, really good.
and this also uses suspense as a tool throughout the movie,
Right.
and it was done very well.
Right, and I don't
Yeah.
remember the name of the girl, the little girl who plays the daughter of Bing Bing Lee's
Yeah, I
character,
don't.
but she does such a lovely job.
Yeah. So this again is
Really,
another.
really happy with
yeah,
this
that
one.
one I would have to give a 4.
Yeah, I would give that
definitely
a
4.
solid 4.
Solid 4. Again, this is hats off to Jason. He did an excellent
Yes,
job
he
in this
did.
movie. Bringing out a different side of him than I think that Oceans or Transporter, some of the others, he just
Transformer or Transporter?
it's where he actually put people in trunk and
Oh,
delivered.
okay.
Yeah,
All right, that one.
Yeah, so
I'm confused.
I think it was. Now you got me wondering. No,
I
I think
know.
it definitely is Transporter. But again, what I'm trying to say, this is actually, I think it was a good jump for him from those type of movies to a more of an action suspense type of movie.
And there's also a little romance in it. I
Yeah?
like that too.
Yeah.
You know?
So that one was a good one for
Yes,
me.
it
We
was. It was
enjoyed
very
that.
Good. Really like that a lot. And there's a lot of movies coming up that we saw previews for that we're super excited about. Of course, for me, the one I'm most looking forward to is the new Mary Poppins movie. Yeah, I played Mary Poppins. I love Mary Poppins.
You played Mary Poppins?
You saw the picture of me as Mary Poppins. I played
Oh,
Mary Poppins,
yeah.
but I mean, since I was a kid, actually the very first cinema movie that I went to, my dad took me to see the original Mary Poppins. It's the first movie I remember seeing in a big movie theater and just being mesmerized by it. My dad has
This does-
reel-to-reel sound tape of me singing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You know, I mean, I've always loved the Mary Poppins. My dad read me the stories when I was little.
Now this brings to heart all the fantasies I've had about Mary Poppins when I was a kid.
Well, Emily Blunt, who I adore, is in it, and of course Lin-Manuel. Yes. Anyway, I'm from Hamilton.
But I'm looking forward to.
Lin-Manuel.
Guess
Miranda.
who is
Oh my
going
gosh,
to be
why can't I talk?
Jerry Van Dyke is going to be in it.
No. Dick Van Dyke is going to be in it.
Jerry Van Dyke. Oh my gosh.
His brother has passed away, and we
Yeah.
love Jerry Van Dyke
No,
from
I
Coach
love
and
Jerry,
everything
but-
else. Yes, he
yeah,
was wonderful.
no,
But Dick
Dick
Van
Van
Dyke
Dyke
is
is gonna
making
be
a
in it.
cameo in this as
Yeah.
well.
No,
An
and-
amazing cast.
Yeah, but what the
Looking
thing that
forward to
is going to
that.
be more amazing is the dance routine that he does during the movie. He's 92
Yeah.
years old, and he's still kicking it.
Why can't I say Lin-Manuel and Miranda? Why couldn't I say that?
I don't know.
I listen to Hamilton every time I work out at Lincoln Center, and I can't even brain fart.
Oh boy. So, and before I turn it over to Kelly, because she's got,
Oh my gosh, TV shows. I'm a crazy person.
There's one TV show that I do want to bring up to you because I really liked it. Well, now first of all, I have been always a Clancy fan. All of his novels and Search for Red October will go on and on. And the main character that he used in a lot of his novels was Jack Ryan. He was a CIA analyst that worked for the CIA, and also in some of the novels he actually taught at the Naval Academy, I believe it was. But so what they did is took that character out
Serialized it.
and serialized it. And boy, I'm hoping that they do make it into a series because actually John Krasinski.
Well, it is a series right now, but hopefully it
Yeah,
continues.
it's a
and they
mini
keep it
series.
up, right?
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
One of the things, and I'll get back to it. So Jack Ryan, for a mini series, mini series always scale back some way. You don't get what they can in a movie because the budgets are not what they are. Well, this is on Prime,
It's amazing.
and it's a Prime production, and it is actually amazing. There are things that they could have done further that they could have done in the movie, but one of the things that most impresses me, again, just the career of John Krasinski since The Office. This is just going to be another excellent example.
Can I just
Quiet.
throw in the fact that we were just talking about Mary Poppins, which stars Emily Blunt, who is his wife in real life. So I mean, that's kind of like
Yeah,
a cool
good.
transition. The Quiet
planned
Place.
this, right? We
The
planned
Quiet
it.
Place. No, we didn't actually plan it, but anyway.
We planned it.
Yes, of course we did. We planned it.
It's tied in. So, now, one of the things that impresses me the most, because if you look back at all, and this is Kelly and I have a difference of opinion about Ryan Wilson,
Rainn
Wilson, because she feels that he's also been able to make that jump. One of the problems about
All of them
comedic
have to be,
roles
yeah.
is leaving that comedic role behind and going into drama. To me, John Krasinski, no problem. Of course, he played a different character than Wilson did in The Office. Wilson was he really cut the edge as far as a offbeat character. John Krasinski's character was more of a straight man to begin with, and so I guess that was an easier to make a jump with. But Jack Ryan, I guess. Looking at Alex Baldwin and all the other people that played Jack Ryan, and the other person that played Jack Ryan that was in Good Will Hunting.
Matt Damon?
Not Matt Damon, but the guy who went to Harvard with Ben Affleck. He was another actor that played Jack Ryan, and I tell you what, out of all the roles, Alex Baldwin, Ben Affleck, I really think John Krasinski really fit the role more physically, because he definitely has some athleticism that you never thought they would have in The Office.
The man's got a six-pack like you cannot believe. He was on Stephen Colbert, and oh my gosh.
I actually threw Stephen Colbert off the building.
Yeah, but I mean, literally took his shirt off and whoa. Whoa.
You could.
Now, I'm not a fan of all that stuff, but I mean, he does have a six-pack like crazy. Honey, if it was a big deal to me, would I be with you? Really? Come on. No.
Hey, I'm working on my six-pack. It's coming back.
I know.
Baby's coming back.
I know.
Right now, it's more like a one-pack, but it's coming
like
back. Yeah. You see me working.
But so am I, so I mean, like, we're both working out, we know.
Yeah, we're not doing ourselves any favor with this.
But
yeah,
good.
okay, so Jack Ryan, it's a depart from the novel series, but it's done in a way where it more accents that character. His role as a CIA analyst is expanded upon, and he actually goes out in the field, as Jack Ryan does in the novels and in the movies, in the previous movies. But it puts him out there a little bit more, and again, I think takes John's acting career more at heart. But man, I'm really impressed. The guy, right out of the bat, he directs the movie that
The Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place.
He and his wife in that.
Oh my God. He not only hit it out of the park, he hit that thing into the lake.
Yeah.
He phenomenal job. And this is the guy that came from comedy and jumped ship. But I don't. Did he do anything prior to The Quiet Place after The Office? Do you know?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, but so anyway, hats off, John. Great job. If you've got Prime, definitely, it's worth watching. It's a series, so you do have to spend some time. Make sure you budget your time. But it is addictive, because I tell you, right at the end, they do put that hook for the next one. So get ready to either really suffer waiting for the next one, or make sure you block out like a weekend. Great. Excellent movie. I can't spoil it by telling you what the plot is, but it does bring headlines from present day and utilizes headlines, what is going on. So definitely look at that. Now I'm going to turn it over to Kelly, because she has quite a few things that she wants to share.
I love television. I love acting. I love watching different shows and everything. First of all, I'm excited for The Crown to start, which isn't coming out with the new season until next year. But I love that show, and I just want to do a shout out. Claire Foy, who plays Queen Elizabeth, just won the Emmy for Best Actress in a Drama Series. So I'm super excited for that to start up. The Goldbergs, when it comes to comedy, I just love the Goldbergs, and season 6 is starting on the 26th. American Horror Story, season 8 is starting on the 12th of October. For Apocalypse, American Horror. No, actually, it just started. I'm wrong. It just started. I've missed the first 2 seasons. I've got to catch up with those. But they started on the 12th for American Horror Story Apocalypse. Oh my gosh, tongue twister.
And that is on the FX.
That is on FX.
Right.
Correct. Shameless just started up their new season, and I'm super excited. They're 2 shows in. This is their 9th season, and I'm very sad that Amy Rossi is leaving. She plays Fiona Gallagher. So I'm sorry that she's going to end up leaving soon, but for right now she's on. Everything is great. I love William H. Macy. It's a great show. So much fun. It's very adult. Don't let your kids watch it, but it's one of my guilty pleasures of watching.
Just about every 5 minutes they're breaking a social norm.
Yeah. But speaking of Shameless, Emma Kenny, who plays Debbie Gallagher on that show, also plays the part of Harris on The Connors, which is going to be coming out. We all know that Roseanne, which started up, Roseanne Barr was fired from the show, and so The Connors is returning October 16th. Sarah Gilbert plays Darlene, and her daughter, Harris, on the show is played by Emma Kenny, who plays Debbie Gallagher on Shameless. So there's that little connection right there. But I'm excited about that. Saturday Night Live, season 44,
I can't wait.
Is starting on the 29th of this month, and I'm super excited. So much has happened over the past few months that they've been off, and so it's going to be crazy.
You know, all I will say, they have lost a lot of comedic material.
But they'll end up.
They will. Yep. Stephen Colbert has done a good job in filling in for him.
Well, James Corden, Trevor Noah, all of them.
I can't wait.
All of them have done a really great job. Modern Family, season 10 is starting on the 26th. And if any of you have been reading any of the updates and everything, one of the main characters on Modern Family is being killed off this season. They aren't saying who, but they said it's going to be sending out ripple effects and showing, you know, in real life that happens to people, and so they are actually killing off one of the characters this season. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
Well, going back to the Connors, they're going to have to do something there. I mean,
well, yeah. They've talked about that Roseanne her character is going to be killed off, but we'll have to wait and see.
It is kind of
exactly
interesting because they killed off John Goodman, and then he came back.
Well, that was a dream sequence, supposedly.
Yeah,
just like Dallas and all
the
those other
dream
things
sequence
that they used to do.
Yeah, let's hope that they don't do a shower scene with John Goodman.
Oh yes, exactly. That would actually kind of be fun.
Yeah. Oh,
kind of a takeoff on, all those other things. Grey's Anatomy, season 15 is starting on the 27th without Jessica Capshaw as Dr. Arizona Robbins and without Sarah Drew, who played Dr. April Kepner. So this is going to be a whole new genre again. A bunch of people off of the show, but they do have a new love interest coming in for Meredith, I hear. So that's going to be interesting to see. And then, of course, we have Murphy Brown coming back. So realistically, this is going to be season 11, even though it's been forever since she's been on. And I'm super excited that not only is Candice Bergen coming back as Murphy, but we have Grant Shaw coming back as Miles Silverberg. We have Faith Ward coming back as Corky Sherwood. And then we have Joe Regabuto coming back as Frank Fontana. So
the band is back.
Yeah, the band is back. I mean, there's a couple that are gone. Unfortunately, we lost one of them,
Painter,
and another one, another one is gone from this show. Although he is still around, he's just not coming back to that. And then I was a huge fan of Castle, and I don't know how many of you out there were, but I loved Castle. I loved Firefly. I loved Serenity. I love Nathan Fillion. So I'm super excited that the first season of a show called The Rookie, starring Nathan Fillion, will be starting on the 16th of October. And then another show that I loved was Chuck. And we all know what happened with his love interest on there. She is now on The Handmaid's Tale, which is a phenomenal show, and I watch that all the time as well. But
That's
Zachary
dark,
Levi, well, it is dark.
Very
But Zachary Levi, who played Chuck on the show, and also played Flynn Rider on the Rapunzel, the movie, the Disney movie about Rapunzel, is coming out with a movie next year, and I'm super excited. Shazam! So those of us my age, or maybe a little younger, who remember the TV show Shazam, they are making a movie version of that, and that's coming out in 2019. And Zachary Levi is going to be playing that part, so I'm super excited about that.
Wow.
As well as other TV shows that I'm also addicted to. I mean, there's so many of them.
Yeah. I just don't. Like I said, when I turn on the TV, it's usually to watch WGN News in the morning.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's our thing.
If I don't get that, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Of course, they're lost now watching me, so it's.
Of course. And then, of course, all my favorite cartoons that are coming back. You know, Family Guy.
Oh.
The Simpsons,
South Park,
and Bob's Burgers.
I'm
sorry,
South Park
Bob's
withdrawals.
Burgers. And Bob's Burgers. We
Yes.
love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
so, we're excited about those coming.
Cloud9, was it Cloud9?
No, not. Oh, yes, Cloud9.
They're coming back,
Good
aren't
Place. Yes, Cloud9 and
Good
The Good
Place.
Place are
Gosh.
coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Places with the two. Ted Danson and the other.
Oh my gosh, what can my brain is just totally fried. From Frozen. I'll think of it. Don't throw that at me. Don't throw that at me.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Kristen Bell. There we go.
Kristen
All
Bell.
right.
That as far as TV watching in
That's one that you love,
a
I
network, I love it. Yeah, just Ted Danson.
The Place is funny. What the
It
Fork.
is awesome. Yeah.
What the Fork.
What the Fork.
That's my favorite.
Actually, we saw a plaque in the store the other day.
We saw the plaque that said "What the," and then there was a fork
What
on
the
it.
Fork,
That made
yeah.
us think of that show.
We should have gotten that.
Yeah.
So anything else coming up? Any other? Well, what about theater around here?
Well, I mean, other than we've got The Man Who Came to Dinner, which is opening this Friday, and then there are some other shows that are starting up pretty soon. I know Sweeney Todd's opening up at Memorial Opera House. What is it? Not The Walking Dead. Something Evil at Chicago Street, and I'll think of it and I'll put it all up, and we'll be talking about it. Yeah, I mean that's going to be coming up. Miracle Workers coming up. I mean, there's so many different shows. The Jerk, the Nerd, all kinds of things coming up.
Finally, they've gotten a.
If you want to know what's coming up, go to NIETF.org. NIETF.org. That's the Northwest Indiana Excellence in Theater Foundation. That's coming up. If you go to their website, you can also see who was just nominated for the awards for this year. That's coming up October 20th. I'm super sad that I can't go this year because sadly I'm going to be in Greece and Italy during that time. But the award ceremony is coming up, and so you can find out. You can find out who's been nominated for this past season, and all the new season is coming up soon. So, we'll be talking about that not only here, but also on Spotlight on the Arts on WBLP 103.1 FM.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll go to the gala and just show pictures of your trip.
There you go. You can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, with that, that's it.
Yeah, well, there are actually a couple of other little weird things.
I'm sorry.
Just a couple little weird things that I noticed today. We had to go get dog food. But on our way, I noticed that the Coyote Cantina, and maybe I just haven't been down there that much lately, but the Coyote Cantina is gone, and El Salto has opened up in its place.
El Salto is like exploding.
Every
time
they just moved
it's
from
like
their one location in Munster to the new location over by Centennial Park.
I just remember their first location in Valparaiso off Calumet Street, and but then they got a second location, and they kept going and going and going, and they're like, I'm waiting for them to start a franchise.
I think it's kind of strange, not strange, but it's just kind of a weird coincidence, because I was driving to my friend's house the other day and noticed on US 30 in Cherville as well that the El Salto Express, which is right there, was on fire. There were fire trucks and police cars and everything else. And so they are now closed at that location, but right there off of 41 in Cherville, where the Coyote Cantina used to be, now El Salto has opened up there. So that's really exciting. And then my beautiful friend, Virginia Burgess, and her sister Tina have just opened a new place. Now, Virginia runs ESPA, which is the Holistic Spa Day Center. which I go to all the time, but they also just opened the Greenwich Juice Bar and Cafe in downtown Highland on Highway Avenue, where the old Singer sewing place used to be. It's an amazing little place with all kinds of organic soups
sandwiches,
salads, and smoothies, and they have a little store with all kinds of detox teas and yummy things and everything, because, you know, your whole body is important, you know, not just feeling good on the outside, but feeling good on the inside. So they opened this up, and they are having their open house on the 12th of October, and they are located at 2845 Highway Avenue in Highland. So please come on out and help celebrate that. I think the Festival of the Trails is going on that same weekend, so it's a great time to come to downtown Highland and celebrate all the great things that are going on down there.
Yeah, we went in there to have some of their smoothies, and they also have sandwiches.
Some yummy of their soups and so good.
Yeah, they soups, and they have like detox kits and go in there. It's kind of a really nice place, really nice location, area. It's light, you know, nice, and it's if you work anywhere downtown Highland, it's convenient. That's on
Highway Avenue.
Highway Avenue.
Between Jewett and the Highway, they are really making strides and bounds into redeveloping and refurbishing and reorganizing that downtown area. So there's a lot of new things coming in, a lot of stuff starting to come in, and things to look forward to down there. So we're super excited about that.
And you know, next week we're going to have Bernie Zeman and Kathy DiGilio
Fox, who is
the director of the Redevelopment Commission. We're going to be talking about what's going on, because their primary purpose is to retask properties in Highland. So we'll find out a little bit more about what's going on, what the plans are. And that's one thing I've noticed since I've been in Highland. A lot of things are going on, but there's not a whole lot of news getting it out there.
Yeah.
You know, and so
but we'll get even more.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get some more information. You know, obviously they may have some plans that they can't share. Maybe they're in negotiations or something. But that's what the Redevelopment Commission does: is retask properties.
And there is so much going on downtown Highland now.
Right.
I mean, it's just really starting to get exciting again. So please, if you have a chance, go downtown, go down Jewett, go down Highway Avenue, go down 4th Street and 5th Street and everything to the Annex and to Yaya Sisters and Erna's. And
support local business.
Support local
because that will
businesses.
keep things open. You know,
these are your neighbors. These are the people who live in your area who you want to help support.
Yeah, look at it this way too. You could look at it selfishly and say you could save gas. You may spend a little bit more, but it will keep that place open nearby, and it supports the community. A lot of these people participate in community events. They support the festivals that are in the area, and it's always good to support local business. It's what keeps us connected as a community.
Our friends and neighbors.
Our friends and neighbors. You know, big boxes.
I mean, big box stores have their place.
Right.
That's great.
And not to get it wrong, you know, there are some that give back to the community, some that are very active.
Lots of big organizations.
And we were talking about one of those today.
Applebee's
is one that does a lot of things with the Veterans Program, and so they do a lot of outreaches. But yeah, please, you know, Highland is one of those places that is.
Highland and Griffith, all these little areas are amazing.
And you know, downtown Griffith is awesome. Broad Street
downtown Highland
is awesome.
Well,
and Highland is starting to develop.
On Main Street, we've got Wildrose Brewing.
Wildrose Brewing, and so is Hammond and a lot of the Munster. They have a lot of developing communities. So let's keep it active and support local business and whenever you can. You know, obviously there's things that you'll have to go outside for, but it's enjoyable too.
You can shop local.
That's it. And with that, that's it.
I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah, it is.
But we look forward to seeing you tomorrow from Sip 2 Coffee House on Jewett Avenue in Highland, Indiana.
And we'll have my friend Tom Wish on and talking about some of the things he's doing in the community. And we'll look at from there. And
hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And if not, have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye, guys.